Hello and welcome to the back nine of round one of the 2024 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships presented by Barbasol. Our last tournament of the year, we are back at Nevin Park Disc Golf Course. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hot geese.
Honk. What's happening out there?
Well, we have some players with some advantage, and it is definitely helping, but it's crazy how you can get a double bogey on a hole and all of a sudden you're right there in the mix with everybody else. It's nice to be back in the woods. We've played a lot of wide open courses this year, but generally everyone keeping it pretty clean. There's a reason they got to where they are. 5 down is currently the way to be the hot round.
If you're confused by the math between the round score and the total score, it's not just because we are on screen. It's because these ladies started with a handicap, Missy Gannon starting with a 10 down, and it kind of trickled down from there. But Kristin and Tattar already able to make up that deficit.
Yeah, all based on your tour points for the entire year. Coming to the biggest purse. Here we are at hole 10, the easiest hole of the day, the shortest hole of the day, 242 feet. It's uphill, plays kind of like 325, I would say. A little bit of wind coming up this fairway. This is one that you just want to make sure you give yourself a putt.
Missy going Captain's Thrasher, and she'll have a putt. If you didn't watch the front nine, you really should, where we explain all of the details of this tournament. I don't like repeating myself. Ooh, what a nice shot from Holyn, ESP Nebula there.
Even though we will for the next 3 rounds.
Just not right now, all right? I'm putting my foot down. Kristin, a little bit early. Gonna be pin high, but I think circle 2.
Oh, and working the right side a little bit more. I like that. A little tree love into the circle. This played as the easiest hole of the day, statistically with over half the field birdieing. Kristin from circle 2. Look at that wind.
Yeah, it's happening. Looks like a left to right for Missy. More of a tailwind for Kristin.
You can see the wind kind of playing with that wobbly putt.
Own with her own wobbly putt. Left side and in.
Holyn with another birdie as well.
Yeah, this one always feels like a must get. Kristin going to take the only par on the card.
16 out of 20 competitors getting at least to circle 2 on hole 10. So yeah, gotta at least be putting. Can't decide whether the front 9 or the back 9 is more difficult. I feel like the back is maybe a little bit more difficult. You have to hold on.
And maybe because of the ending holes.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I want to let you know today's video is sponsored by Vessi. As you all know, Vessi has been a huge supporter of JomezPro for many years now, and we have tons of great feedback from all the other people that have given Vessis a chance out on the course because of our partnership with them. And as we enter the final event of the disc golf season in 2024, now is the perfect time to get yourself a pair of the Stormburst low tops. These things are very versatile. They're waterproof, not water resistant. That is an important distinction to make, as I always say, because some of these shoes will wear down over time when they're exposed to moisture, and that's never going to be the problem with Vessis. These Stormburst low tops are very versatile. They're not only great to get out on the course in different terrains and different kinds of tee pads, but you can wear them out on the town in a casual setting, whatever. Vessis are a game changer in the disc golf world, and they're making a huge splash, so to speak. And I think right now is a perfect time to get yourself a pair. And to do that, we're going to help you out. Just go to vessi.com/JomezPro. That's going to get you 15% off your first order. That's vessi.com/JomezPro, or click the link down below, or click the QR code on the screen right now. Now's the perfect time, as the seasons are starting to change into a little bit more unpredictable weather, to get yourself a pair of Vessis. They have tons of styles to choose from, so give it a shot. Thank you once again to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Hole 11, a par 3, 286 feet. Again, another change. I believe we used to be at the longer tee pad, and so it's going to play slightly easier. We are coming down to an elevated pin that drops off dramatically, leading to some interesting choices on the putting green. There is a mandatory, but in this shorter tee position, it's not really going to come into play unless you hit these very first trees on the right and get a weird bounce. Ooh, that is not a good shot.
Yeah, Holyn's going to even have a tricky approach. That basket is so close to the drop off.
Owen going backhand rock 3. Also a little bit too much turn, but gets a good kick. She might even be putting. See if Missy can hit this one cleanly. I like this play. She's going Z zone, so a little bit more stable. Be nearly pin high, just outside the circle, it looks like.
It's a big advantage to land pin high and flatten out this putt instead of having to putt downhill at the elevated basket. I like the forehand here a lot. Kristin really working that left side.
Holyn just trying to lay this down and not get too much ground play here.
Perfect. This is a hole that's not very birdied. It's just really hard to access circle 1. You see a lot of circle 2 putts and therefore layups because everyone is very professional and good at golf here. This is just a reckless putt to run. 10 people got to circle 2 in regulation. Only 1 got to circle 1.
Oh, wow. Still playing that difficult.
Yeah, it's a very challenging angle, especially with the downhill kind of adding to the risk it takes to run at this hole.
Yeah, Missy not even messing with it from 40-ish.
There were 2 birdies. Natalie Ryan was parked. Really great shot. Rebecca Cox made a circle 2 putt. Love
that. I love that.
Me too. I wonder where she was. Pin high.
Wherever she was, it was reckless.
It was reckless. She played reckless all week last week, but to her advantage.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan. Got to make up stroke somewhere. Round of pars there for our lead card. Silva Saarinen now 6 down through 15 with the current hot round.
Here's hole 12, 603 feet, another par 4, a very difficult par 4. This one played as the second most difficult hole of the day. You want to try to get over this little gully that the drone's flying over, but it's not easy. It's such a strange angle and the trees are placed in such a peculiar way. But you do need to ideally land a little bit more left to open up this second shot to the green. Again, it's not really one pure shot, not necessarily a forehand or a backhand. It's player's choice all the way down this fairway. And generally, you're going to have to really work the angles of your disc.
Holyn pushing the right side, catches a tree, gets a kick over to the left. Not sure exactly what she'll be dealing with there.
I think best case scenario on the tee shot is to go over those stumps that we see Owen flying, but finish left.
Yeah, that's not bad, but maybe 10 to 15 more feet to the left and she'd be perfect. Missy working the right side as well.
That's some great distance, but it is going to be very pinched off for her second shot.
Kristin working a much higher line here. Gets caught up fairly early. At 603 feet, I think she can still get it there, though.
This is going to be a turnover shot that has to carry a good distance.
Pretty shape. Just drifting into the right side trees a little bit, but she's going to be, I think, even in circle 2 or at least close. Oh, the ditch.
Holyn can work a flex down probably to circle 2, but it's going to be tough to get even near the putting green, being that tucked away on the left side.
A solid effort from Holyn just to get out, and she's centered up in the fairway.
Own working a backhand turnover shot. Some really nice height and a really great skip there at the end.
Nearly. She in the circle? Great
She's
shot.
Close.
Missy kind of in jail over here, having to go probably 45 degrees at least away from the pin just to get back on the fairway.
Yeah, this is one of the harder holes of the day. Definitely the hardest par 4. Only 5 people got to circle 2 in regulation. This shot is very difficult. You can see it's pretty wide open and straight, but it's just a tough angle with those last couple of corner trees on the right. Only one player was able to find circle 1 in regulation.
Missy's third, just lacing it down this tight fairway, hitting the koozie. So good at that straight shot. We saw Holyn have a little bit of trouble on her approach a little bit early out of the hand. Kristin from the woods going forehand. Beautiful.
Holyn with some work to save her par.
Yes.
Her putt is looking so good.
That was the most casual. She in circle 2.
Yeah.
Hyzer putt around a
definitely.
tree. Look at this. Just breaking at the exact perfect moment.
So much spin. It's so flat. We see have Missy and Own with the wobble putts, then Holyn with just the smoothest, flattest putt ever.
She doesn't even look like that thrilled about it. She's like, yeah,
It's just kind of what I do now.
Own long look for birdie. Kind of early out of the hand.
But a par is great on this hole. There were only 2 birdies. Annika Sten and Evelina Salonen.
And both of them getting some of the really difficult ones today.
45% of the field with a bogey or worse, so this one was very easy to gain strokes on.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. Today, the world is in the palm of your hand. Or at least this can is. For over 100 years, Barbasol, it's a can of can-do.
Hole 13, a par 5, only 685 feet. One of those confusing ones where you're like, you should eagle it every time, but it's a really difficult tee shot. I like kind of a flex forehand off the tee. The backhand tends to get caught up in the left, and then you just deal with what you have through this windy little fairyland of a hole. It is birdieable, obviously, but it's averaging over par at that distance. It's one of those ones where you should probably just pick your landing zones and chill out, but you're going to see some people being aggressive, some people trying to be a hero, all the things.
This tee shot is especially important. You see so many players getting tangled up on the right side or early left trying to get some left carry at the end, and that is where the strokes start to stack.
I do think you have to push that straight back wall that Holyn just hit to get in the primary landing zone. Own doing a good job of it.
I think
your rock three.
I think the worst mistake is to go early left.
Yes.
Right?
I would agree, yeah. Besides, just like throwing it backwards or
Yeah. Hitting one of these first available.
Yeah. Ooh, Missy. That looks like a thrasher. Hold on. Stand by.
Was it?
Stand by. It really was.
What the heck?
She trusts him.
Most people are not throwing distance drivers off this tee.
Kristin going early left, getting the kick to the right. She's going to be working for it. Oh, yeah. Working. Difficult lunging sidearm working a turnover forehand. What great power from that position.
Yeah, came out a little bit early, but still skirting that right side nicely. Holyn wide open. That is so exciting on this hole.
And you can see she's still not getting too aggressive here. Just trying to keep it in the fairway. She's a little on the right side, but still in position to potentially birdie.
These are really great placement shots. It's so hard to have footing and no tree in your way.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to get around this corner, and she does that nicely as it starts to bend back over to the right.
There's so many optical illusions on this course where you're throwing directly at a wall of trees, and that is the play. Mm-hmm. It's very strange. Missy's so far down the fairway, she's able to just even work more of a hyzer shot. Also, not getting super aggressive.
Yeah, even with that kind of shorter shot, I think she's in play for the birdie. Kristin off the fairway, starting to stack up strokes here. That's going to be a difficult par save. I think the only shorter par 5 on tour is at Idlewild, but it gives kind of similar vibes. You think at that distance you should just get it.
Yeah. Holyn, we're getting lucky through some really small trees, but pretty open the rest of the way. Yeah, she knows it.
She knows. Sometimes you just got to take the luck when you get it. Missy's third.
Missy playing this hole very pure.
Oh, wow. Goes deep even. And that's where that aggressive tee shot can really pay off, but boy, can it go wrong as well. Playing it more how you draw it up, taking a little bit off. That's fantastic.
Yeah, really, really perfect placement golf. Kristin, a little more in the woods. Skirting past those last couple of guardian trees in the middle. She still has some work left to do for her par putt.
Holyn, very long look for birdie around this tree. She's been hitting these circle twos all day, though.
Oh my gosh. Really nice angle and line. Just a little more power on it.
Kristin from 37 feet. Little downhill. Ooh. What a par save.
She made it through. With a slow mez, too.
Looks like she hit 1 inch under the band. Dead center, though. Great putt.
Six people. It got to circle 1 in regulation. It's crazy on a shorter par 5 like that. Oh, Missy with a birdie look.
Off the top.
Own finding chains for her birdie, the only one on our lead card. One of only 3 today.
Wow.
The other from Natalie Ryan and Paige Pierce.
Missy and Holyn gonna clean up their pars.
Some really clean golf coming from our lead card today. It's crazy how this course has a tendency to kind of sprinkle single bogeys throughout your scorecard. But look, we only have 1 single and 1 double on everyone's card. That's just crazy.
That is amazing.
So clean.
Very professional. Hole
14 is 320 feet. The gauntlet, just dead straight. Trees on both sides. You just got to go straight. That's it. Just don't go right. Also, don't go left. Just only go straight, okay? Do you get it?
Okay.
No out of bounds. Just 320 feet straight.
Hold on. Just one more time.
I'm looking at the caddy book, and from what I can tell, you just need to go pretty straight here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Pretty.
Nice flexing shot from Owen, using every bit of the fairway. Left to right, almost inside the circle.
Own one of the few who can work a flex shot that tight. Holyn putting a little bit too much power, flipping up that ESP Athena, working it over to the right.
You can see Holyn keeping it low. That's smart here. If you're not confident on throwing 320 on a rope. Missy, though, really confident.
Missy Gannon, special here.
Yeah, the most confident at this shot. She's tailored off just a little bit at the end.
Yeah, only about 1 foot off from being perfect. Kristin trying to work the flip up also on the left side, but she gets the friendly kick.
Very friendly. Wow, a quarter of the field birdied this. 5 birdies.
That's pretty nuts.
That's really nuts. This is a hard shot.
320 dead straight. I mean, that's max distance for a fair amount of the FPO field.
It is, and you can see Holyn's reaction to her approach. Getting off the fairway is so hard. Even, look, Missy's in circle 2 and doesn't really have much to deal with here. This hole is just very difficult to scramble on. It quickly can turn into a single or even a double bogey.
Wow, not a lot of room to work here.
Again, a little early out of the hand, just not quite holding on to him today. It's a little chilly out there. Holyn really having to work for her par save. Let's see if she can drain another long putt.
Great straddle there. She's pretty thrilled with that one, saving it from off the fairway, as Mad said. Incredibly difficult on the gauntlet.
This is a great putting day for Holyn.
Kristin with some more green, capitalizing on that tree kick.
This is a great putting day for Kristin.
Yeah, sure is. It's going to move her to 6 down, aka 14 down. Still not used to that.
I know, it's so weird.
Starting with an 8-stroke handicap.
5 birdies on the day, all of them from circle 1.
Checking back in, Evelina, haven't seen her in a minute. She's ahead on hole 16, which is a par 4, 515 feet. Going huge hyzer. She loves it.
It's so good in the middle. 1 fairway tree.
Wow. Nice. Looks like Evelina had a couple of bogeys kind of in this middle stretch, but that one will put a smile on your face. This was kind of the other major change. It used to be a par 3. Now it's a more scoreable par 4 for the FPO.
Evelina with another tap in. She has led the field all year in circle 1 and 2 in regulation stats.
Evelina 5 down with that one in a tie.
Silva.
Yeah.
7 down in the clubhouse.
Hole 15, a par 3, 346 feet. When you're standing on the tee, this left route that the drone is flying is definitely the more open route, but you can probably only get about 3/4 of the way right here before you need the disc to start turning very aggressively. So it becomes a difficult hole to get into the circle, though you can probably get into circle 2. Missy Gannon took the right side route, the much less traveled route last year, and it never quite worked until the championships. I would argue that this shot on the right side not quite won her the championships last year, but nearly.
Yeah, it was a nice momentum switch.
Kristin working kind of a flip up forehand. Absolutely love that play.
While it is more open on that side and a bigger gap, we went back and looked at this hole again, and after playing such difficult courses all year, that right side does look a little bit more feasible.
It does.
I can't say for sure that the left side is better anymore. I kind of like the right side.
Yeah, they've conditioned us into thinking it's wide open.
Yeah. The left side is the best play if you've got this powerful sidearm like we saw from Holyn, like we saw from Kristin, then, it's kind of dummy proof.
Wow. Still amazing.
Yeah, still far.
I mean, they're flipping these things up, getting absolutely max distance. Holyn is going at Jawbreaker. Nope. She's going, oh, no way. Oh, it is. Jawbreaker Z Flex Raptor.
Oh, she's so good at that Raptor.
Kristin going Orbit Grace. Beautiful sidearms. Here we go. Missy Gannon, right side ESP Thrasher.
Yeah.
a little right side, but she's going to get through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah.
gosh. Bullseye. Yeah, because if you're not comfortable with that 350-foot forehand, that's unreal, which most of us don't have.
Yep.
I really like this play.
I do too. Missy absolutely parked their own. Running it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Little backboard. Kristin coming back at it. 25 feet or so. Good for it.
Another great putt from Kristin.
What a clean round.
Holyn tapping. What a forehand. Perfect amount of ground play.
Missy with the right side tap in. Love to see it. 3 for 4 is fantastic on 15.
Yep, 7 birdies on the day and 3 of them here on the lead card. Kristin now tied with Silva at that 7 down mark with holes left to play. Here's 16, another par 4, 515 feet, a little on the shorter side, but it is not easy necessarily. It is birdieable by everyone in the field, however.
Yeah,
a nice left turning fairway.
It's a newer tee pad, so we haven't quite seen what people are going to do yet. Evelina going big, pretty spiky hyzer. I think you could make kind of a more gentle hyzer work, more of a placement shot, but I kind of think we're going to see people just go big here.
Oh, yeah, this is the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it used to be a straight par 3 that
Yes.
was kind of out of reach by everybody. You would not see very many birdies. I think Holyn was one of the few people who got it last year. I do like this change a lot. This
Me
fairway
too.
is very tight, but I like the shot shape.
Kristin getting caught up very early. That's going to be pretty tough to deal with. Holyn fading earlier than you would like. She still might be able to manufacture a birdie from there, though. She got enough distance.
Everyone coming in just a little bit early. It's such a weird distance. I think it's one of those holes where you have to pull out an overstable mid or fairway driver and just kind of throw it as hard as you can. Maybe it's a touch shot with a driver, but I think that's almost a little scary. I love what Owen's doing here.
Me too. Pushing the back wall. Classic Nevin shot. Kristin with somewhat of a route. It's going to be difficult to keep it in the fairway and not kind of push too deep into the other side of the rough.
Yeah, she still has not yet wrapped the corner. She does it now, but not very much distance. As much distance as you want for your approach to the green. Holyn with a similar thing. This is almost forehand roller territory.
Yeah, that was about as well as she could have done that.
Uh-huh.
She's still, 100 feet away, though?
Yep. And maybe in the patent pending area.
Kristin looking to save the par, save the bogey-free round. She'll be dancing. Missy
with a great tee shot opening up the second half of the hole.
It's looking pretty good. Oh, yeah. Longer look at it. Elevated pin. Owen, I think, with the ideal shot shape off the tee, but she is kind of a late release here.
Yeah, it looked like she had a little kind of funky footing thing happen. Oh, no, tree in her backswing. Okay.
Yeah. A technical sidearm from Owen. She's going to be 25 feet away looking at a par.
Owen really trying to push for strokes here. She knows how important it is.
Holyn fluffing one up there.
Also, just sitting on your card watching Kristin right now shoot 7 down. Hot round of the day.
Probably doesn't feel great.
No, you know every stroke does matter.
Kristin, though, gonna take her first bogey of the day. Missy looking at a 2-stroke swing from just over 40 feet.
Ooh.
Good effort. Holyn for a par save.
And another huge putt from Holyn Handley. Uh-oh.
No, she just stepped on a stick and it moved. Pissed.
I think nothing happened.
Yeah.
I think it was a potential foot fault situation. But it looks like it's going to result in a par.
Mm-hmm. A really nice putt from Holyn to rescue that par. There were 5 birdies on hole 16 today. A lot of very similar scoring spread on these holes. Really nicely designed course for the FPO. Let's do a quick check-in again with Evelina Salonen.
She's on hole 18. Really important to get far enough out of this gap to potentially give yourself this shot to go all the way across this OB field and get back in bounds.
We don't see many people do this.
No. And Evelina kind of splitting the difference between an aggressive shot and a safe shot. She is safe and on the edge.
Yeah, it makes this shot tough. She's able to throw a weird straddle forehand, though, to the bullseye.
A great round from Evelina, even with some bogeys sprinkled in there. She played this course really well.
Yeah, she had to have gotten in the top 3 people of number of birdies in the round.
Had to have.
Had to have. Another probable stat from the 2 hotkeys, TM. The hole 17 is the most difficult hole of the day. These last 2 holes are round ruiners for sure.
Absolutely. Just look at it. Pretty tiny gap here, a par 4, 700 feet. You want to hit this thing with some power, though. You want to make sure not to throw something too stable. Look at that OB line kind of pinch in on the left. Also, if you try to get too aggressive and flip something to the right, you can find OB. If you do land safe with a perfect drive, you got to go to this teeny tiny little island on the left-hand side. I mean, I guess it doesn't look that bad here, but if you're going for birdie, it does not feel very big. You see a lot of kind of short layups and par plays, which just does not feel good.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that today because we had some pretty intense wind in the open holes.
Kind of a tail right to left wind.
Not Holyn Handley, though. She's going for it.
And that is so good.
Yeah, if you land short, too, if you don't bite off as much as we see Holyn, the island is completely blind. You can maybe see the top of the basket, but you can't see any of the out of bounds. So it makes it even scarier to go for it. Kind of is an optical illusion. It plays with your depth perception.
Missy taking a little bit off there in a great position for par, kind of in that blind zone that Madison was talking about, though. Own with her racer here. Also, you can tell they're just not quite putting as much power into it. It's not quite worth attacking as the hardest hole of the day.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Kristin really trying to work that right side, being a hyzer flip player.
Oh, no.
And this is, yeah, having to pitch out on the second shot. I mean, it's a bogey at best here.
At best, yeah. Woof. And Kristin still 6 down. Pretty commanding round, but looking to just make the rest of this hole kind of simple and stress-free. That's a great shot. I'm just going to lay up with her rock 3 here. little surprised they didn't change this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It also, I think it's on the cusp of being a perfect FPO hole with how far everyone's throwing. Mm-hmm. But, is Missy laying up too?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I think I'm wrong actually.
I think you're right. It's close. I think it's close to being.
And I'm not quite sure what they could do with the space to make it significantly better.
Do you think it's just, I don't know if it's just because it's blind to that island, like maybe making the island slightly bigger.
The risk isn't worth the reward.
Yeah. Like Holyn in perfect position. She's still blind with a great drive, and she's going to be OB deep.
I'm so just absolutely traumatized by the stroke and distance of last week at Throw Pink. So I'm like, oh no, she's a throw
she's
again.
She's a rethrow.
Oh man, so close to being so good. And thankfully she will, I believe there's no drop zone. She will be putting from where she last crossed.
Kristin's fourth, going forehand. And again, she can see the basket, but not necessarily the OB lines. That's well done.
Yeah, I don't have enough critique of this hole to even come close to calling it a bad hole. I think it's fine.
It's fine.
It's just, it's kind of some boring golf, which is a little disappointing coming down the stretch. But also, maybe it's nice because if someone needs to make up strokes, they have the option to and play aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay. All
maybe.
Right. We're talking ourselves into it here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't just complain in the booth.
Yeah. Hole 17 for life, you know? Big fan. Holyn coming back for a par from circle 2. Bummer not to see that rewarded. 2 really solid shots.
Oh, Missy. So close. It's always disappointing to try to play a hole safe and smart and wind up with a bogey.
Especially with knowing Kristin is taking a bogey here, trying to get a stroke on our leader.
What great control there. It's where strokes could stack up very easily.
Owen playing the hole really solid for par. Did you say what this one averaged today?
Oh, I did not. It was the most difficult hole, and it averaged at a half stroke over par.
Ouch.
So not too bad. There were 4 birdies, but half the field with a bogey or worse. Let's shout out the birdies. Rebecca Cox, Hannah Bloomerus, Silva Saarinen, and Heidi Laine. €3. I feel like that is kind of a European style golf hole.
And a Rebecca style.
Mm-hmm.
Silva Saarinen again with the hot round at 7.
Let's wrap this thing up. Here's hole 18, a tie for the 3rd most difficult hole. Got to get through these trees out into the open. A lot of players just chipping across the corner to this area on their second shot. We saw Evelina go huge, quote unquote, and go past that tree line. You don't see players really going for it on their second shot to the green by any means. I wouldn't call it an eagleable hole.
I think it technically is. If you were absolutely desperate,
if you're like
and
going
our farthest,
ham.
Farthest throwers could.
Mm-hmm. But most players very happy with a birdie here. It's not a super commonly birdied hole.
No.
You see a lot of people just trying to get off of it with a par, especially in the windy conditions we had today. You can see Holyn's ponytail blowing in the wind.
And as soon as they turn the corner, it's going to be a straight headwind. Mm-hmm. Holyn low, just making sure she gets out of the gap.
It was kind of clocking back and forth between right to left here and a headwind on the tee pad. And then once you turn the corner, head/left to right. Very scary winds for this much roped OB. Missy playing it safe, but the wind not helping her. She's going to be deep in the woods, way away from the OB line, but not an easy place to recover from.
Kristin going sidearm, a great play to hit the gap, and that has some nice power on it. Love that shot.
Yeah, they do give us a nice amount of room here on this tee shot. Kind of surprising to see Missy go so safe.
I do think it shapes up better for a power forehand.
Totally.
Oh, I'm just going standstill here.
Even though I'm not a proponent of roped OB, especially at wooded disc golf courses, I kind of like these 2 holes. I think they're kind of fun to have at the end, and they were well thought out.
You trying to convince me to like this hole?
Yeah.
Because I'm in, baby.
We're here in the booth. We're easily swayed geese today.
Holyn with a really nice second shot getting to the corner. Whoa, Missy.
Uh-oh.
I think that's
That's a pitch out.
Bush playing into the middle. Kristin looked like she's cutting at least part of the corner here. If anything, obviously you want to go deep here. Woo!
This hole very similar in design to hole 18 at the Beast.
Missy also lining up, trying to get to the biggest part of the corner here. She's going really high hyzer.
Yeah, showing a little bit too much of the underside of that disc to the wind.
That's great though.
Yeah, it carries a little more left than she maybe wants. She has what, 250 to the green?
Yeah, we'll see when we get there. That sounds probable.
Own with
going
a forehand. Yeah.
What a monster, respectfully.
Respectfully, and a good play.
Yeah, it is a good play, but it's scary with that OB everywhere. It's all scary. Holyn going at standstill on her final shot. I believe that's a buzz. Oh, she's just laying up.
She sure is.
Interesting.
She's golfing.
She's golfing. Maybe after the bogey on the last hole, she's just trying to make sure she finishes cleanly.
Yeah, and it's hard to come in soft on this green with that Mando pole on the right side.
True.
I think we could have seen Holyn try to work a forehand, but
Oh, that might even be more than 250.
yeah, it's
Closer
far.
to 3.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Fantastic shot, though. Missy looking at a par to finish.
Look at those flags whipping.
Yeah, Own mostly with the left to right wind, using the angle of her disc nicely to put it just outside the bullseye. Kristin looking for one last birdie after that bogey on the last 2.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Playing the hole perfectly.
Holyn golfing.
Plenty of room for this little hyzer approach.
Beautiful.
Only 6 players got to circle 1 in regulation, only 9 to circle 2. So it's great to have a putt for birdie here. Missy with a nice par save after some very early trouble.
Looks like Missy and Own are going to be tied at the end of the round. Own shooting the hotter score, though, at 4 down. Missy only at 1 down. Going to round out our lead card. We'll check in with that in a moment.
Kristin with 1 of 5 birdies today. And what a round. She had a couple bogeys there at the end, but the rest of the round was so clean.
Oh, yeah. 6 down.
Looking really comfortable in the woods. Holyn with a bit of a gust as soon as that comes out of her hand, but it stays in the basket.
Holyn finishing at 3 down there. Own bogey free. The only one on our lead card to do so. And here you have it. Kristin Tattar, 6 down. Evelina Salonen, 6 down, but 2 strokes back of Kristin. Holyn Handley, 3 down. Also 2 strokes back of the lead. Pretty tight game, all things considered. Own remaining on the lead card. Missy sliding to top of chase.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some check-ins tomorrow as well with Missy, Silva, Henna, and Anniken Sten on the chase card. I am very surprised at how tight it is in the top 10.
But look at the separation now from 10 to 20.
Yeah, this is where the format is a little bit weird. Doesn't really help out those 10 through 20 positionings in the FPO field. Similar things happening in MPO. Maybe they'll pop off some hot rounds tomorrow, but I think a lot of players probably just trying to get aggressive in the bottom half of the field, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it,
Yep.
to try to get that big purse.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got 3 more rounds to see how this format plays out. Come hang with us. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two hotkeys.
Honk. Honk, honk.